Baruch atah asher ha'anat melecha ha'olam asher kedeshanu mitzvotav v'tzivanu lehitatif latzitzi. Good morning, Kimmy. You're here at the beginning today. How are you? You're back too. User 9867044588880. Welcome back. How are you doing today? Good morning from San Diego. It's Tabitha. You get trolled a lot, so you change your username to something generic? I get trolled a lot, so I ignored them. And it gets to me anyway, right? Pursues me to pursue. Compels me to pursue tens of $1,000s worth of facial surgery? Yeah. It's the troll's fault. You reproduced. Well, it's nice to see you again. This makes you happy, Kimmy. Wow. Wow. Makes me happy too. Yeah, the trolls are serious. They can motivate you in all sorts of ways. So today we're going to say the Shema and the Vahafta. Those words from the book of Deuteronomy that were written in a very different time and place than this time and this place today. Detrimental. Yeah. Yeah, trolls can hurt. I'm sorry you had a bad experience. And then we will complete the story of the death of Dumuzi, right? Where we left off, he was captured by the Gala demons. Kimmy, you were here for that yesterday, yeah? And so we will conclude that story, and then we will say Arati and Kaddish, and begin our day. I am running late. I don't know. I always stream somewhere between like 9 and 11, right? But 2 hours feels like too wide of a range. I would like to be more consistent, but I don't think I ever will be. Consistency is a sign of madness. Who knows? So, we'll start with some words from the Hebrew Bible. Good morning, Julia. How are you? Excuse me. Shema Yisrael Asher Eloheinu Yahweh Echad. Vahafta את ענת אלוהיך, ובכל לבבך ובכל נפשך, ובכל מאודייך, ובחיו הדברים האלה, אשר נוחי מצווך היום על לבביך, ושיננתם לבניך, ודיברת בם, בשבתך בביתך, ובלכתך בדרך, ובשכבך ובקומך, וקשרתם לאות על ידיך, וחיו לטוטפות בין עיניך, וכתבתם על מזוזות ביתך ובישעריך. וחיה כי ויחר אלוהיך אל הארץ אשר נשבע לאבותיך לאברהם ליצחק וליעקב, לתת לך ערים גדולות וטובות אשר לא בנית, ובתים מלאים כל טובה אשר לא מילאת, וברות עצובים אשר לא עשת בה, כערים וזיתים אשר לא נטעת, והלכת ושבת, הישמר לך פן תשכח את יראה אשר תשעך מארץ מצרים מבית עבדים. Listen, repeat the words. Repeat the words, and maybe, with some luck, you will gain some, what's the word? Insight, maybe? But no. Experience? No. Merging? I don't know, right? Like, my goal in saying those words so often is, to reify the reality that is already real, that I am one with everything else, right? And so in effect I don't need to do anything. I don't need to say these prayers, right? I don't need to repeat Yahweh Echad all the time. Right? Reify the reality that is already real, that you and I and everything else are all one and the same, right? So that being true from some perspective is different from that being experienced from my perspective. So I suppose I want the fleeting psychological state of experiencing total unity, right? That's my goal. Very paradoxical goal, right? A goal to end all goals, like a serpent eating its tail. Dumuzi had his arms turned into snakes. Good morning, Sarah. How are you? So nice to see you in this virtual place instead of that other virtual place. It's like we're neighbors. So, where we left off yesterday, Dumuzi was taking refuge in his sister's house. And the Gala came and they killed him. They surrounded him with their demonic presence and they drew him down into the underworld. And what we will read next is a prayer of mourning. Surprise. In ancient Sumer, they described mourning of a king thusly. Then a wailing cry arose within the city. My lady cries in great sorrow for her young husband. Inanna cries in great sorrow for her youthful husband. Sorrow for the husband, sorrow for the young husband, sorrow for her house, sorrow for the city. Dumuzi was captured within Uruk. He will not bathe any more in Eridu. He will not rinse in the holy shrine. He will no more accept Inanna's mother as his own mother. He will no more engage in the dalliances of the city's virgins. Hold on. I thought he was married. He will no more engage in the dalliances of the city's virgins. I guess marriage meant something different in ancient Sumer. Shabbat shalom, Batya. How are you? I'm going to make Shabbat dinner tonight. It's the first time that, like, a large number of people have been here in the commune for, like, 2 months. I'm going to be cooking for 10, 12 people. Yeah, it'll be a nice Shabbat. Typical, yes. Dumuzi, you worked so hard to marry Inanna, and then you were going dilly-dallying with the city's virgins? Not acceptable anymore. That's why you're going to hell. He will no more engage in the dalliances with the city's virgins. He will not rival with the city's youths. He will not bring his sword high above the Kugara priests. Dumuzi's mourners are in great sorrow. So remember the Kugara was the non-binary creature that resurrected Inanna. that set this whole chain of events together that caused Dumuzi to be sucked into the underworld. Your son cooked for me. I'm sorry you're not feeling well, but I'm glad that you have a son to cook for you. That's very sweet of him. He will not bring his sword high above the Kugara priests. Dumuzi mourns. Dumuzi's mourners are in great sorrow. Inanna too cried tears for her Dumuzi. My husband is not. Oh, tender husband, my love exists no longer. Oh, tender love, my dearest was snatched from the city. Hear me, you flies who hover the prairie. My dearest lover was ripped from me, so I could not put a shroud about him. But you told him to be gone. You're like, Gala, you can take that guy. So these characters are a little inconsistent. Have you noticed? Now Inanna is mourning. Before she was like, nah, don't take my son, don't take my sister, don't take my friend, take my husband instead. He's allowed. Now she's mourning, though. My love exists no longer. My dearest was snatched from the city. Hear me, you flies who hover the prairie. My dearest lover was ripped from me. So I could not put a shroud about him. The wild buffalo bull is no longer living. The shepherd, the wild buffalo, is gone. Dumuzi, the wild buffalo, lives no longer. Hello.
Hello.
Hi.
You got an interesting thing.
That's so that I can change my name.
Oh.
Yeah, the Volunteer Lawyers Project. They promised that they were going to send me that like 6 weeks ago.
Well, here it is. Congratulations.
I guess I should show it off. Look, I have more paperwork to fill out so that I can be myself. It's exciting. Hi.
Hi.
I really like you.
I like you too. You gonna keep reading your story?
Yeah, I will.
Okay.
And you're going to keep doing farmer things.
Yeah.
Like checking the mail.
Yeah.
Okay.
Bye, love.
Bye. Yeah, it says it right here. Volunteer Lawyers. See? Volunteer Lawyers Project. I don't know if you can see that. I'm trying to get my name legally changed to Teresa Kaddish, and I don't know how to do that shit. And so I called some lawyers, and they're like, yeah, sure, we'll change your name, and we'll even do it for free. But if you want something done, there's that like, Rachel likes to talk about the triad of good, fast, and cheap, right? So this is very cheap, and I think it's pretty good. But it's not fast because they're underfunded. So like, so it goes. So I have to fill these forms out and then go to the bank and get them notarized and then mail them back. And that's what I'm gonna do today. Yep. Anyway, we should continue reading. Dumuzi, the wild buffalo, lives no longer. I seek an answer from the hills, the valleys, saying to them, no longer am I able to serve him food. No longer am I able to bring him beer. Now the jackal kips down on his bed. Now the raven nests in the sheep pen. You inquire about his pipe of reeds, but now the wind must in his place blow the sweet notes. You inquire about his pleasing songs, but now the wind must in his place voice the sweet tones. That's so pretty. You inquire about his pleasing songs, but now the wind must in his place voice the sweet tones. His voice is gone, and there's just the howling of the wind. Dumuzi's mother, Sirtur, likewise wept tears for her son. My heart plays sorely upon the mourning pipe of reeds, for my son once walked freely upon the open prairie, but now he has been taken away. For Dumuzi once walked freely upon the open prairie, but now he has been taken away. For Dumuzi once walked freely upon the open prairie, but now he has been bound fast. And the ewe has given up her lamb, and the goat has given up her kid. My heart plays sorely upon the mourning pipe of reeds. O capricious prairie, where Dumuzi had once declared, my mother knows where to find me. Now his hands cannot move, now his feet cannot move. My heart plays sorely upon the mourning pipe of reeds. I would now desire to go to him. I would now wish to see my son. His mother trod the forsaken spot. Sirtur walked the entire way to where Dumuzi was laid out. She gazed at the fallen wild buffalo. She looked at his face and spoke, oh, my child, it is you, but your spirit is no longer within you. Lamentations fill the house. Sorrow fills the private rooms. All right, we can read a little bit more. in order to complete the story. I did promise to complete the story today. It's a little longer than I thought. But, more mourning. More mourning. Meanwhile, his sister walked the city, sobbing for the sake of her brother. Gestinana walked aimlessly the city, sobbing for the memory of Dumuzi. Oh, Dumuzi, why did the gala take you? Oh, brother, why did the gala take you? No longer will I see the shepherd tending his sheep farm. No longer will I see my brother Dumuzi walk the prairie. Brother, I would freely take your place. I would go to the underworld myself. Ooh, foreshadowing. Everybody's trading. It's just like an empty space in death, and everybody trades around. I would go to the underworld myself and release you from your cruel fate. Gestinana went to Inanna, her sister-in-law, and said, No longer will I see the shepherd tending the sheep farm. No longer will I see my brother Dumuzi walk the prairie. I would freely take my brother's place. I would go down to the underworld myself and release him from his cruel fate. And Inanna replied to Gestinana, Come, let us seek Dumuzi together. I haven't read this part of the story. Huh. This is a later edition. Okay, let's continue on. So, Inanna and Gestinana are going to resurrect Dumuzi. And they walked, and they looked for the shepherd Dumuzi, and they traveled and searched for Gestinana's brother. All over the sheep farm did they look. All across the prairies did they search. But Dumuzi could not be found anywhere they looked. And when Gestinana was despairing for her brother, at that moment a fly came near them. The blessed fly circled overhead above Inanna and spoke, If I let you know where Dumuzi is, what will you offer me in return? Trade upon trade. And Inanna replied, If you tell me, then I will allow you to enter into the beer halls and taverns. I will let you hang about the discourses of the learned men, which Inanna cannot do because she's a lady. I will allow you to flitter about the singing of the songsters. And thus the fly spoke in reply to them. Then raise your eyes to the prairie's border. Gaze onto Arali. There you will find Gestinana's brother. There you will find Dumuzi the shepherd. Thus Inanna and Gestinana went to the prairie's border, and Dumuzi was there, crying tears of woe. Inanna then took Dumuzi's hand and said, You will enter the underworld for half the year, and your sister, who has agreed, will enter the other half. Does this sound familiar? On that day you are summoned. You will be captured. On the day Gestinana is summoned, you will be freed. Thus did Inanna leave Dumuzi in the grip of eternal fate. Oh, holy Ereshkigal, the queen of the dead. Oh, holy Ereshkigal, your glory is great. Oh, holy Ereshkigal, I sing your praises. And that concludes I can't talk. That concludes our stories about Inanna. Tabitha was resurrected in the Bible, and that made you jaded. Why did that make you jaded, Tabitha? Why bring her back? It's a good question. I mean, right, so there's like resonances there with the story of Persephone, right? Persephone goes down to Hades. Hades abducts her. I mean, that was one interesting thing is in this story there was no abducting of women. There was abducting of a man. No abducting of women. Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of messed up things in there. So, next week, I won't be streaming this weekend, but I will start next week. We're going to read one more story from this book. It's called The Epic of Anzu. And I've not actually read any of The Epic of Anzu. I know nothing of what it's about. I don't know why I skipped this one. Probably because I've never heard of it before. But we will read The Epic of Anzu. Oh, and then there's another one. There's a whole bunch of stories in this book. Yeah, so we're going to read this whole book. Yeah. I really like the Inanna stories because they're just, like, very sexy. Like, the whole thing is just, like, super sexy. And I think that's important in your ancient mythology. To not forget your sense of lust. It is, isn't it? I give Narnia vibes. Narnia vibes. Wow. Goals, I suppose. When I was in college, I lived in a collective house in college, and the rooms were set up so that some people's bedrooms were only accessible by going through other people's rooms. And my friend set up a wardrobe in front of the door to the bedroom next to her, so that in order to enter through that bedroom, you had to walk through the wardrobe. It was Narnia vibes. It was very good. Get the schedule. There's an official schedule on Discord. Oh gosh. Now there's a bar that I have to reach. But I guess I post announcements that I'm streaming on Discord, right? Yeah, you should join the Discord. Check out the link in my bio. You can join the Discord. You can join the Patreon. You can join the Bloody Blah. You can help me live my life. I like it when you help me live my life. It's nice to have friends. Now, potato juice, do you love me or do you love the image that I have made for you to consume? It's a very different question. Good morning, Dr. Punk. Good morning. How are you? Yeah, Sarah, convince everyone to join the Discord and then we can hang out on the internet together. Both? But how do you know me? Aren't you, might you be concerned that all you know is the image that I have produced for your consumption? That it might not be true? That I might be someone totally different? Have other personalities that you know nothing about? It's possible. It's been a while again, yes. I'm here basically every day, but most of you come and go, and that is the nature of things. You're always in your body every day, and people in your life, they come and go. You are the only constant to yourself. What is Discord? Jokes and art projects and good times can be had if you come to the Discord. Yes. Yes, Sarah. Discord is a community server. It's a little chat space that you can hang out in. Yeah. You see some personality sneak through my image. Oh no. Also cute pictures of cats. Yes, I posted a picture of my cat today. She's right here. Should I bother her for you? Look at this cat. She's very sleepy. Okay. So, we're gonna say Arati, and then Kaddish, and then, here, maybe I should open up these forms, see what they're in. I know that I have to go to the bank to get them notarized. Yes, it's like AOL in the 90s. Or, Sarah, did you ever use IRC? Because Discord is, like, literally IRC. And, like, IRC was a little bit before my time, but what, you're 6 years older than I am? So maybe you used IRC when you were a youngster. Anyone use IRC? Maybe no one knows what I'm talking about. The cat's name is Mama. I was just explaining about her genesis on the Discord. The video game music archive is where you hung out. This must be notarized. You must take the position to the notary public where we will sign the document and have your signature notarized. Do not sign the petition until you are in front of a notary. Okay. So I just have to go to the bank. Oh, look at that. Wow. It's truly free. It's truly cheap. They gave me an envelope that is prepaid so that I go to the bank and then I go to the post office. And it will all be done. Will I have any farm dumpster content soon? Not very soon, Woodrun. I'm sorry. I'm dealing with this bullshit, right? Like, every day I have, like, forms to fill out, and I have hospitals to call, and I'm trying to graduate. I have, like, things that I have to do in my life, and unfortunately that prevents me from being on TikTok other than in the morning with you all. And that makes me sad. I wish I were making TikToks. Like, I like doing that. It's fun. But I have to prioritize other things, unfortunately. Okay. Yeah, so I guess I shouldn't... It's at the very top, it said, don't do any of these until you go to a notary. So that's what I'm going to do right now. I'm going to go drive to the nearest notary and, see what can be done. Yeah, American healthcare, there's some pretty shitty things about it. But, like, I was saying this the other day, on the Discord, right? That, like, yeah, there's some pretty shitty things about it, but I can't turn my face into a woman's face. Like, I don't know how to do that shit. Like, there's a very complicated system, and some parts of the system are really stupid and broken and dumb and, like, don't need to be that way. Like, it's just bad design. But also, like, it's part of a whole, and you can't take some parts and not have other parts, because it's a whole system, right? And I rely on that whole system in order to be the kind of person that I want to be, and I can criticize parts of it, but I can't actually effectively criticize the whole because I'm engaged in the whole and beholden to it. Yeah, so, like, I hate American healthcare, but also American healthcare literally turned me into a woman. Like, for free. For a lot of labor. I put in a ton of labor, and they did the thing. They helped me do the thing. So it goes. It's hard to get healthcare. It's very hard, Tabitha. So I will teach classes back on the farm at some point, potato juice. Not this summer, unfortunately, because I'm dealing with all this bullshit. I'm getting surgery this summer, or in the fall. I don't know exactly, but I'm not teaching classes on my farm this summer. But one day I will teach dumpster classes again, and you will know about it. I will post it on the TikTok. I want to see your dumpster dives on Discord, Sarah. How often do you go? Will you post a picture the next time you get a vegetable haul or something? I would love that. Thanks, Batya. Okay, so, let's say Arati. Yes, I do believe you should be able to go to the dentist, Tabitha. I do. I'm sorry that it's so frustrating. Yeah, I mean, like, you have to fight for it. Like, that's the simple truth about it, and I don't think that's fair, but it is real. You have to fight for it, and, those with the energy to fight can sometimes win, and those without the energy to fight win less often, and it sucks. Dr. Punk, with the emojis. Okay, it's time for Arati. Jaya Jayarti Vina Vinayaka Vina Vinayaka Shri Ganesha Jaya Jayarti Subramanya Subramanya Kartikeya Jaya Jayarti Venugopala Venugopala Venuola Papa Vidura Navanita Chora Jaya Jayarti Venkantaramana Venkantaramana Sankatarana Sitarama Radhe Shama Jaya Jayarti Gauri Manohara Gauri Manohara Bhavani Sankara Samba Sadashiva Uma Maheshwara Jaya Jayarati Raja Rajeshwari Raja Rajeshwari Tripura Sundari Mahalakshmi and Mahasaraswati Mahakali and Mahashakti Jaya Jayarati Anjaneya Anjaneya Hanumanta Jaya Jayarati Dattatreya Dattatreya Chimutriya Vatara Jaya Jayarati Adityaya Adityaya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jayarati Sanistaraya Sanistaraya Bhaskaraya Jaya Jayarati Sankarachaya Sankarachaya Advaita Gurave Jaya Jayarati Sadgurunata Sadgurunata Shivananda Jaya Jayarati Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Vishnu Devananda Jaya Jayarati Agastya Munaye Agastya Munaye Shyama Priyaye Jaya Jayarati Ayapa Ayapa Samine Dharma Shastave Jaya Jayarati Jesus Grave Moses Grave Buddha Grave Jaya Jayarati Muhammad Grave Guru Nanak Grave Samastya Grubho Namaha Jaya Jayarti Avenugopala. Natatra suyobati natanjakara tamnima vidyobati kutoya magni doneva bantam bandi sarvam tasya basya samidam vivanti om gange kayamane kaiva govari saraswati narmade sirikaveri hiya namastitam namo namaha Tvameva mata chapita tvameva Tvameva bandisha saka Tvameva vidya dravinam Tvameva sarvam mama deva Kayena vacha manasandriyarva Buddhyatmanava prakriti sabhavad Karomi adyad sakalam prasmahi Narayana iti sarmar prayami Sarvadhamam pravichayam amikam sarvanam vicha Aham sva sarva papayo mokshayami masucha. Whatever actions I perform with my body, speech, mind, senses, my nature, my intellect, or my emotions, all these I dedicate to you. To you, really, to you. Promise. There is a little bit of illness in my home. It is true. So, Tabitha, are you referring to Rachel's tomb in Bethlehem? I've been there. It's a terrifying place. Absolutely terrifying. A tomb split in two by geopolitical forces beyond anyone's control. It's quite a place. Yeah, when I was in Rachel's tomb, let me see if I have this book I can share with you. I was a boy last time I was in Rachel's tomb. Oh, where is it? Here it is. Okay. Found it. Yeah, it's horrifying, isn't it? I went to the men's section of Rachel's tomb in 2018, shortly before I transitioned. And I was there, and I saw the side of the crypt. I had to pass through all these checkpoints and soldiers and walls, and you get there, and there was this man, and he gave me this book called Holy Nation, A Guide to Shmiras Habris, in English, right? He knew that I was American. There's a bit of Hebrew at the end. And I read bits of it. It's intense. There's this section here, it says, make fences. Can you read that? Make fences, right? Inside Rachel's tomb. So literally, Rachel's tomb is in the heart of Bethlehem, but it's actually on the Israeli side of the wall. So they built this crazy keyhole structure, deep into Bethlehem in order to capture this little grave. Anyway, there's this section that says, make fences. By making boundaries, one is guaranteed to stay far away from temptation. Where there is fences around sexual immorality, there is sanctity. This book, Holy Nation, it's a tiny pocket guide for whenever you feel like you need to masturbate. Instead, you should read this book and make fences around your sexuality, because masturbating is bad, because you need to be replacing all of the Jews that were killed in the Holocaust, and so you shouldn't waste your sperm. There's some ideology in the world, my friends. On bulletproof buses, I am completely serious. I am completely serious. I don't know what he would think about the fact that I don't make sperm anymore. Maybe I'm allowed to masturbate now because nothing comes out when I do. Maybe that's too much information. I don't know. Where did I get this book? Welcome, Jada. How are you? I was saying I got this in Rachel's tomb. So Rachel's tomb is in the center of Bethlehem. Tabitha brought up Rachel's tomb. Rachel died on the road to Hebron, Jerusalem-Hebron road. And in the book of Genesis, and Jacob sets up a tomb there, and there's a tiny little hut in the center of Bethlehem that has been historically known as Rachel's tomb, and it's a flash site for conflict. I did not remove all the copies. So they built the wall around it, the apartheid wall, Netanyahu's apartheid wall. They built this wall deep, like around Rachel's tomb. They didn't take Bethlehem. I wish I could show you the map, but I lost my little map. But basically, Bethlehem's a large city, and they just like made this like snaking wall like deep into the center so that they could enclose this tomb on the Israeli side of the wall. And I went there, and a man told me that I shouldn't be masturbating, and that's that story. So, they say Kaddish at that tomb. Here, I need to put this back. How are you doing, Jada? It's nice to see you. I do too. The one where Inanna and Dumuzi plow each other's vulvas? Yeah, it's very good. Hi, Rip and Stitches. This is my morning live stream. Our morning live stream. What pronouns are you supposed to use? Their morning live stream? It's Yahweh's live stream. I don't know. I take the name Yahweh in vain. We say some old prayers. Theology. Good morning. So right now, the prayer that we're going to say is Kaddish, a prayer for the dead. The word Kaddish means holy, sacred, set apart, is like the etymological root. And then of course there's Kaddish, and speaking about sexual impropriety, right? I just love this image. I've shown this image so many times, but it's just so great, right? She's like this goddess riding a lion, and she's holding snakes and flowers, and like the god to her right is like clearly interested. So, yeah. What is the connection between the divine and the sexual? I don't know. People have different opinions. I'll share all of them with you. Good morning, Nessa. How are you doing? Yes, I'm Jewish, Rip and Stitches. I am Jewish. It's true. Hobbit vibes? My mother-in-law gave this to me, and I haven't worn it in like a year, and I found it today, and I was like, oh, fuck, this thing is just, it's so warm and soft, and it's the best thing. And I'm gonna wear it for all weekend, I'm sure. So, where did it go? Here it is. So we're gonna say Kaddish. Kaddish for the dead. Kaddish for those who came before, right? Hi. You're back.
Yeah, can I sit here?
Yeah. I was just about to conclude. I'm just about to say Kaddish. What you got there?
Breakfast.
Breakfast. It looks very nice.
Eggs and salsa on waffle.
Here's a cup.
Should I say it with you?
Yeah.
Okay.
Do you want to show your mom?
She knows what I look like. Hi. Fine.
So, we'll say Kaddish. Yitgadal v'yitgadash shemei rabba, b'yama divrach yotei v'yamlech malchutei, b'chayachon u'vyomechon u'chaye dekol beit Israel, b'gala u'vizman kariv v'imru. Amen. Yehei shemei rabba miva'arch le'olam amei amaya, yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yirmam v'yitnaseh, v'yithadar v'yithaleh v'yithalal shemei dekudisha b'richu, le'ela min kol birchata v'shirata, tushbechata v'nechemata, Diamiran Biama Vimru. Amen.
Oh, say shalom.
Yeah. Oh, say shalom Vimramav. Huya Ase Shalom. Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael. Vimru. Amen. Oh, say shalom Vimramav. Huya Ase Shalom Aleinu V'Yakol Yisrael. Vimru. Vimru. Amen. I like you.
I like you too.
Okay. I'm going to go to the bank to get these forms notarized. And I will see all of you here on Monday. Yeah, thanks, Jada. It's really nice to say the prayers with you.
Yay.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. Farewell. Have a nice weekend, everyone. I'll see you on Monday, and we'll do this all over again. Bye.
You have to go to